One other thing when installing these pieces, as you get down near the end here, if you're right-handed, you can see you're running out of room to manipulate your hand. So even though you may not be right-handed, it's my recommendation that you go ahead and put the tubes, once you get past the halfway mark, or whatever you're comfortable, and you don't, you know, as soon as you start running into other things on the other side, just start putting the tubes on with your other hand. It's a lot easier to reach in there than it is to do it, you know. I mean, can you imagine me trying to get my hand in there and manipulate it around? It's just not gonna be very easy. Whereas this way it's nice and easy. And at this point, I'm going to go ahead and do the next part. I'm going to save this for later, but I had mentioned before about squeezing these pieces together. And now is a good time when you've got once you got all the tubes in, to start squeezing this all back together. You're not going to be able to squeeze it hard enough with just your hands in order to hurt anything. In other words, you're not going to collapse any of the tubing, any of the brass tubing, as long as you're just using your fingers. And you may have to press real tight, okay? I mean, you notice that I'm pressing as tightly as I can, pressing right on taking the meat of my thumb and just pushing it right down and squeezing those pieces together. And get this all back nice and flat on the underside. I'm also pushing up on the underside. We want to get these tubes all back nice and tight together. Some of them may be a little bit more resilient than others, or reluctant, but with a little bit of patience, you get them all back down where they belong. And now you're ready to go ahead and put in the, connect these up, connect all these up to those. And in this case, I'm trying to see which way I think is going to be easier. Whether it's going to be easier to start on this side and move down, or this side and move up. I'm accustomed to going right to left myself. I mean left to right. And left to right, and then I move the opposite direction. Here again, I'm supporting the tubes from the back side. See where my fingers are. And there we have it, folks. Completely retubed. We can go ahead and connect up the brackets. I don't know if you can see that. Go ahead and zoom in on that. This is the bracket that I was talking about earlier. I had to drill that out. There are no threads in it, like I suspected there were no threads, and that's supposed to slide on there like that, like I thought. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off and restart it so that I don't have a segment that's too long.